case you haven't heard, and I'm pretty sure you have by now, because a lot of y'all have asked me to talk about this, and you know, I was gonna talk about it on Tuesday, but I wanted to get my thoughts collected first, and I just kind of wanted to let the information marinate. I didn't want to just react because, you know, it's real easy to like just react off of like the emotional nonsense that happens when it comes to racism and stuff. Um, but recently, Moses Ingram, aka Reva from the Star Wars Obi-Wan show, she has had to deal with racism. She's had to deal with people hitting her DMs, hitting her comments with racist stuff. And, you know, Star Wars came out and said, don't choose to be racist. And, you know, we resist and stuff like that. So, you know, when I first heard about this story, the thing that kind of got to me was the fact that, and I found this very interesting, not surprising, but interesting. There was a huge collection of people from a certain demographic that were saying nobody's being racist to her. People are responding because they just don't like her character. They don't like the writing for her character. You can't. So if you're a white person and you don't like her character, are you racist? No. The answer to that is no. You can not like a person's character and or the writing or whatever, and that doesn't make you racist. You know, of course not. What makes you racist is when you include race in your criticism. Because if you just said, I don't like the dialogue and the writing, and that's it, okay, there's nothing racist there. But when you start talking about, I don't really like, you know, the fact that this black woman is on here, blah, 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 that gets racist. So let me also point this out, because I'm going to play the video of what she actually had to say. But what I wanted to kind of bring up was the fact that, and I want to talk to anybody who's watching this video right now. If you felt as though when this issue came up, that when Star Wars says don't choose to be racist, when everybody was calling out the racism, if you felt the need to respond to that by saying, you know, well, we were talking about her acting or anything like that, why are you talking? Because the only thing that kind of comes to mind at that point is a hit dog will holler. Why are you triggered by Star Wars and everybody talking to racists and you decide to comment? You don't think that you almost telling on yourself. You're almost telling on yourself. If a woman is out there talking about the men that are terrible because they're rapists, I'm not finna be like, but all men are not bad. Excuse me, I'm a good guy. For what? I agree with you. Rapists are terrible people. You not talking to me? Because I'm not a rapist. What are you doing? Y'all out here telling on yourselves. So let's be very clear about this. We are not talking about the people that have issues with her character, the writing, or anything, or acting, or whatever. We're not talking to you. Maybe you need to confess something. Maybe you have some deep down discrimination that you just didn't know to peg. But we're not talking to you. We're talking to the actual people that are racist. The people that are triggered or bothered by the fact that there's a black woman that's on the screen and it goes against whatever imagination that they have for Star Wars. So let's play. Hold on. Let's get the, my bad. I ain't kick it out earlier. Let's get this going. All right. let's get to her actual comments. And just for clarification, I'm going to play what type of comments she actually received. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they weren't about her acting. Let's check this out.
Long story short, there are hundreds of those. Hundreds. And I also see those of you out there who put on a cape for me. And that really does mean the world to me because, you know, there's nothing anybody can do about this. There's nothing anybody can do to stop this hate. And so I question what my purpose is, and even being here in front of you saying that this is happening, I don't really know. But I think the thing that bothers me is that, like, sort of this feeling that I've had inside of myself, which no one has told me, but this feeling of like, I just gotta shut up and take it. You know, I just kind of gotta grin and bear it. And I'm not built like that. So I really just wanted to come on, I think, and say thank you to the people who show up for me in the comments and the places that I'm not gonna put myself. And to the rest of y'all weird.
They are weird. They are weird. And my heart goes out to that sister because I think like what people are not catching is what she's not showing. She just said that there are hundreds of comments like that. Let me tell you something. I'm not popular, right? At least I don't view myself as popular. I get a whole bunch of DMs and messages every day. There's just no way for me to keep up with them. So, by the way, if you message me and I don't answer, it's not my fault. Like, I really get stuff gets buried. I get spam. I get real people. I be missing messages. It's a problem. I'm nowhere near as popular as she is. She's a TV actress on a very popular show. You don't think she's getting 15 times more mail than little old me? If I could get buried, I know she getting buried with nonsense. Nonsense. She said there are hundreds. Some of y'all ain't get 2 messages today. You know what I'm saying? Imagine getting hundreds of racist haters, negativity, all up in your emails, all up in your DMs, all up in your messages because of the way you look. People are not talking about what she's doing. They're talking about the fact that this lady just exists. That's how sick some people are. And my heart goes out to her because when she said there's nothing no one can do, that hurt my heart. Because racism, especially in this country, is one of the most difficult things to get over. Because there's just a resistance to it. You say reparations, people get triggered. You talk about slavery, oh, that was so long ago, forget about it. Now, I'm going to talk about why there is something that can be done. I am going to talk about that. But just to kind of go back onto what she had said, she was talking about like how she felt as though, you know, there was like this uneasy feeling of she just had to shut up and take it. That's historical. Okay. I kind of want to, you know, put that on for a lot of for my non-black audiences out there. That's historical. That's generational right there. Do you think that's the first time a black person had to like hold it in or be tempted to hold in the pain from whatever, racist attacks that they received? We've been doing that since slavery. It happens on a macro level and micro level. Racism triggers black people. It's generational trauma that's passed down because, well, this country don't want to get rid of it. Y'all barely want to talk about it. I was just listening to Jon Stewart on his thing, and he made a segment on his show, and it was called "The Trouble with White People and Racism." And he was going back to the George Floyd situation, and he was talking about he played a whole montage of white people saying, "We're listening. Black people, we're listening. We're listening. We're listening." How did that go? As if racism was something new. We're listening as if black folks ain't been telling y'all racism been a problem since 1619. We only been telling y'all it's been a problem for 400 years. And it ain't just an American problem, it's a global problem. You think black people are just not liked only in America? It's global. White supremacy ideology, where white is right and black is a problem, that's global. That's why it's not only just white people logging these attacks at her. She's getting these attacks from all over the place, which is sad. I had somebody, and let me point this out too. I had somebody in my comments on Instagram say like, "Oh no, the problem is the fact that, how you gonna have this black lady come on here and start talking Ebonics?" Excuse me? So what if she's talking Ebonics? Did y'all have a problem when you saw all them white people in every single Star Wars movie having a European accent? Why are they all talking European and they supposed to be in a far galaxy far, far away? So European is right? It's okay then to have a European accent. But if you have an Ebonic, if you speak in Ebonics, then it's a problem? Sir, you're told on yourself. You're racist. Because you have an inherent discrimination against black people in our vernacular, but you ain't got no problem with a European white-based accent or vernacular. This is all the embedded racism that happens in the fan base. And it sucks. It sucks because it's not the vast majority. It's not the vast majority of Star Wars fans, but golly, that small minority is loud as hell. Because this ain't the first time we've dealt with this, is it? Kelly Marie Tran, she got tore apart online and straight up bullied. For what? John Boyega? Oh, we gonna talk about him too. John Boyega, Finn, they played my man to the straight left. Got straight up attacked online for being the black guy on there. And I heard, I haven't confirmed this, but I heard even, this is before social media, even Billy D. Williams, Lando himself, has had issues. Jar Jar Binks, he was in a mask. He was in a whole costume. And they attacked that black man too. This is why I believe that the racism that Moses Ingram is facing and the racism that the next black person is going to face in Star Wars as well is bigger. It's a bigger problem. But I want to address one other thing first before we talk about the bigger problem here. Let me see. I want to play Ewan McGregor, aka Obi-Wan. He came out, and he posted a video and he made a response to everything that was happening. Let me go ahead and play that for y'all now.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say a big thank you. And it just goes to show what this family can do when we all pull together. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman. And she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series. She brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.
You know, I appreciate what Ewan McGregor just did. I appreciate what he said. What he just did was definitely commendable. And I would say that it is it's a good step. It's a good step. One of the things that and I guess, let me see, how can I put this in a certain way? I wanted to make the difference between thanking him versus making it seem like he was an ally, because they're two different things. Like, allies, you go above and beyond. Like, you do the most. I'm thanking him because this was literally the least he could do. It's the least anybody in Star Wars can do. The least you could do is speak up. So thank you. I give you that. Thank you. And he's not alone. He was not alone with that. You also had other people coming forward. Hold on, I got other people. Like, racism so thick, it got Trekkies and Star Wars coming together. Okay, you had Anson coming out, another captain right here from Star Trek, says, "This is Moses Ingram. She is a singular talent and a recent addition to the Star Wars universe. She has also been targeted by racists pretending to be the fans because her mere existence threatened a skewed dystopian fantasy that selectively omits the likes of the real Billy D. Williams and others. We, the Trek family, have her back. Live long and prosper." I love it. I love it. And not only that, you even had the OG Cap. The OG Cap came through. William Shatner, toxicity in fandoms needs to go now. Yes, I agree. I agree. And before that, you also had the Star Wars official account. The official account, they came out and said, "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say. We resist." What the hell was that? We resist? I mean, I guess that's something. It's something. We resist. Let me tell you something. When you're dealing with racism, when you're dealing with vile stuff like this ain't the time to stay on brand. It's not the time to be cute and be like, well, we're part of the rebellion and we're trying to fight against, the powers that be. No, call them out. Block them. Be straight up. Yo, get off script. You're racist. We don't mess with you like that. And I'm saying that the PG way. You're racist. Get out of here. Hit the road. Jump onto another spaceship or something, because we don't get down like that. I'm going to need Star Wars to come a lot stronger than we resist. But all of this stems from a much bigger problem with Star Wars. Let's keep in mind, here's the craziest thing. The racism in Star Wars has not. This isn't new. I told y'all this has happened before. But the problem is, before this, they were quiet. Everyone was quiet. Nobody was talking. John Boyega was getting dragged through the media, dragged through the commentary and all the social media. Didn't nobody say nothing. Kelly Marie Tran, poor self, she quit social media. And I feel worse for her because she's younger. When you talk about these younger people, like the 20s, younger and stuff like that, they grew up in social media. So for them, social media is a much bigger deal than for us that, millennials and Gen X and older, where we can shrug that off, be like, man, whatever, I'll block them, I'll get offline or whatever. But for the younger folks, they grow up in this. This means more for them. This is their world. And none of this is natural. None of this is like something you could just shrug off, where you have hundreds of thousands of people attacking you because of how you look, because of who you are as a person. So, again, thanks, Star Wars, for resisting. Thank you, Obi-Wan, for speaking up. Thank you to everyone else who's come out and speak on that. But let me explain why this is a bigger problem. I want to pull something up here because I told y'all my situation last time when I went to the Star Wars celebration, and I told y'all my issue with Mace Windu, right? I've been wanting Mace Windu back. I've been wanting to get, I've been wanting him, get his story out there, do something with him, right? And I told y'all in my story how like it was really messed up, how I spent so much time on the convention floor just looking for black faces. That's all I was looking for. I just wanted black faces so that I could represent. I wanted merchandise of Billy D. Williams, Finn, Mace Windu, Donald Glover, somebody black that was not animated or hiding under makeup. I wanted a black face to find, because guess what? Black people have contributed to Star Wars from the jump. Hey, racists, did y'all know James Earl Jones was the voice of Vader? Now, it is a little messed up that they didn't show him. They had to still get a white actor, but whatever, neither here nor there. Billy D. Williams was one of the hottest, actors at the time, and he lended his charisma, his style, his charm to the series, was a phenomenal, legendary character. Let me show y'all something real quick, because a lot of this starts from the top. I know that you are never going to get rid of the stupid dark hole of racist trolls on the internet. They're always going to be there, right? But something has to be there something has to count for the fact that they feel comfortable enough to be emboldened. And I believe that part of that is because Star Wars has bred an environment where they don't have to feel uncomfortable. Star Wars has bred an environment where inclusion is an illusion. Yes, we have a sprinkle of people of color and other descents here and there, but they don't really matter. They don't really have value. And that's the problem with Star Wars. Let me go to the advertising. Let's look at this. Do y'all see what's different here? Take your time. Take your time. What is different here? Anybody? Let me help. You see Finn right here? Ain't no Finn right there. What does that tell you? That is a marketing situation, especially with China. And this isn't just Star Wars, by the way. It still goes up because, by the way, they did the same thing for Black Panther. Yep, that's right. Showed Chadwick's face on the American poster. Didn't want to show, a black man up there like that. So it's a bigger problem. And that's kind of the issue that I have, is the fact that Star Wars as a whole, Disney sometimes as a whole, is problematic. They hid a black man completely off the marketing. Completely off. And John Boyega had said, let me get his commentary here. One of the biggest things that he had talked about was when it came to Finn, he called them out for marketing a black character only to ultimately push them to the side. I want you to look at this again. What is John Boyega's character doing? He's holding a lightsaber. Do you see anybody else holding a lightsaber that isn't a Jedi? That isn't Force sensitive or whatever? I don't know about y'all, but when I saw Force Awakens and I saw John Boyega holding that lightsaber, I legit thought, hey now, here comes another black Jedi. Let's ride. Psych. That's not what happened. They sent us completely off. And this is where I started to realize, wait a minute, Star Wars doesn't care about black people like that. They just don't. I'm going to give them some credit. Now, let me make this clear. I'm talking about where they are currently, right now, as of today. They don't care about black characters. And the reason why I'm emphasizing black characters is because when we talk about racism, it's usually on a spectrum. And I'm not trying to throw anybody else out of this, because they do have a bigger problem. Have y'all ever seen a lead Asian character in Star Wars? I don't know if I've seen one. Like Donnie Yen, my man is dope. Chinese, star in China, and I ain't seen him even get like that much shine in Rogue One. And he was one of the best parts. When I went to go look for different, merchandise and everything, I also started to notice, like, wait, I don't see a lot of Asian people here. I don't see a lot of Asian people cosplaying. And when I did, they only dressed up as Kelly Marie Tran and Donnie Yen's character. That's it. That's all they dressed up as. Why do people dress up? People dress up as characters that they see themselves in or that they can relate and connect to. Star Wars does not give that to other minorities. I had somebody come up to me and say, yo, I can't tell you how awesome it is that a Mexican American or whoever it is. I'm sorry. He said he was a Mexican American and Diego Luna playing Andor was such a huge thing for him because he could see himself in that character. And I started thinking to myself, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right. Like Hispanic, Latino, Latin, folks, y'all got Pedro Pascal. Y'all got Diego Luna. That's dope. But then I started to realize something else. I was like, wait a minute. I feel like y'all really have a colorism issue because people of Latin descent don't just come in one shade. You got Giancarlo, Moff Gideon, Afro-Latino. Great. You don't know nothing about him. He's not a lead. He's not. Oscar Isaac. He's not a lead. He gets a little bit more shine, a little more time, but that's it. When it comes to like the darker characters, the black characters especially, you don't know nothing about them. You don't know where Mace Windu came from. You don't know anything about his background. I'm not talking about y'all nerds that read the novels and stuff and comics. I'm talking about the people that watch what gets put out on TV. You don't know nothing about the black characters. And that's the biggest issue. Let's look at this again. A little more information. Do y'all see anything common here? Look at this. Star Wars has been around since 1977. 1977. What here is the same? White, 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 white. Why do you think that racist, white supremacist people feel comfortable in Star Wars? I'm not saying it's intentional. I'm not saying, and I'm not commenting on Star Wars' motive. I'm not. What I'm saying is Y'all had over 4 decades to highlight someone that's not white, and y'all have not done that with your biggest platform, which was the movies. When you do get someone black and you give them a shot, hey, shout out Rosario Dawson. She's orange. She's in makeup. Y'all had Mace Windu in 3 of the prequels with Sam Jackson, quality actor, and y'all can't bring him back? Y'all done made Palpatine die and come back and explode, and for whatever reason, he just came back somehow. Darth Maul got sliced in half or whatever, but he come back somehow. But Mace Windu lost a hand, fell, and he can't come back? Bring back Mace Windu. So let me just say this one thing. Let me just give you basically what needs to happen, because, and let me give him credit, because I tell y'all I try to be fair. I'm not here to rant or whatever. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. In fairness to Star Wars, The Acolyte is a new season series that is coming out, and Amandla Sandberg is going to be playing in that role. She's supposed to be like the dark Sith or whatever. And that's dope. That good for her. But this kind of goes back to what I was talking about, which is and I hate to say it, because I don't want to make this like a knock against her personally, but as great of an actor as she is, light. She's light. And that kind of goes towards the colorism issue. Y'all making her a lead, that's great. But she's also light. And I'm not saying don't do it. Like, yo, do it. That's great. I'm fine. But when you talk about racism and how complex it is, colorism is a subset of that racism. Where you might be like, I don't want to be too racist, so let's get somebody that's a little fairer skinned. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, come on now. So, okay, in fairness, again, to Star Wars, Donald Glover is supposed to be doing Lando series. Okay. When? I know we waiting on him, but all right, whenever. But either way, so thank you, I guess. But for the time being, Star Wars does not give anything meaningful to the black characters that are out there. Nor does it do it for the Asian characters either. So when the sister is saying that like nothing can be done, I disagree. Something can be done. And this is what I hope is done. I hope Star Wars gives her character meaningful energy. Pump her up the way that y'all pump up all the other fan favorites. The way y'all gave Ahsoka energy, give her energy. Give her a meaningful story. Y'all better not kill her. Don't kill her all of a sudden. You better give that sister some love. And don't make it reactionary. Y'all better put some thought behind it. Because I don't want nobody sitting here talking about like, oh, they just stretched her character. No. Give her some energy that would lead to a potential series or hell, even a movie. Put a black face up there. I want to see more black faces that have meaningful stories. So that way, guess what? All those racist trolls that are out there, they have one less thing to complain about. Again, you're never going to get rid of like all the trolls forever. I know that. I'm not delusional. But what I'm saying is that when you cultivate a culture, a franchise that is white for 40 years, you can't help but to expect racist white supremacist ideology to feel comfortable there. You can't be surprised by that. Not to mention, you've been quiet for all them 40 years too, until recently. What did they say? Silence is complicity. So this is on Star Wars. Star Wars, do better. As a franchise. Bring back Mace Windu. Bring back new black characters. Like, Don't just throw them in animation either and say, but we are doing that. I know that Mace Windu's gonna get a little run in the Jedi Tales or Jedi whatever thing. That's animation. Do you know the bias with animation? When people see animation, they think it's not for me. When people see animation, they say that's for kids. That's not for me. I can't relate to that. But it's a whole different story when you put a black face and put your money behind that black face in a movie, or you put them at the beginning, you know, the head of a show. Put that energy in there. And I guarantee you'll eventually, it won't be overnight, but eventually you will start to see a lot of this dissipate. Look at what Marvel was doing. Marvel, you know, again, it's got its good and bad. Marvel's been out there putting out diversity for a minute now. They're not getting the same level of hatred and racism and stuff like that that Star Wars is. Even Harry Potter, even them, they still got a little bit more. They still got some problems. Don't get me wrong. Harry Potter fans, y'all not off the hook either. Star Trek Star Trek gave us a black captain in what, 99 or something like that. And then after that, they gave us a black sister to also take control of a ship. And then they got a woman. They got women and stuff. Like Star Trek did it right. Is Star Trek having these problems? I don't watch Star Trek. Y'all do. Let me know. Is Star Trek having any of these problems with racism and stuff? I'm not saying that it will never happen, but is it at the same level? Star Trek needs to do better by its black characters, in my opinion. The moment you show that energy behind the characters, you give them meaningful stories, you stop making them supporting characters, you're going to deter a lot of the racism there, because it's going to be basically not comfortable for them. It's not going to be comfortable for them. But right now, Star Wars is a very comfortable place for white supremacy ideology. They're uplifted. That, like, European colonization and all of that is subtly still in there. There's no reason to think different. They might not realize it. It's all subtle and microaggressions, but it's there. So anyway, that's my thoughts on this whole Reva, Moses, Ingram situation. I think a lot of this starts from the top with Star Wars. They need to get their act together. They need to show these characters with a lot more. They got to do better by their characters, especially the black ones. And I think it's a trickle down effect. I think if you show black characters that respect, you're going to go show the Asian characters, and then the brown characters, and then the other characters. It'll trickle down. It'll trickle down. But right now, we resist. Okay, Star Wars. Thanks. Like, that'll scare them. Whew. Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.